Remember, you cannot pour from an empty cup. But here's the twist. Sometimes the act of pouring is what refills the cup when it's done with the right heart. The key is discernment, serving out of overflow, not obligation. Hey family, welcome back to If Only One Overcomes. I'm Katie Lee, and I'm so grateful you're here today. Over these past few weeks, we celebrated our wins, reflect on where we've been, looked towards a brighter future, and talked about the importance of community and support systems. Today, we're diving into something that might feel a little tricky: how to help others while still healing. Now, you may be wondering, how can you support someone else when you're still dealing with your own wounds? The truth is that sometimes in the midst of our healing, we can be of most use to others. You see, our scars can serve as a roadmap for someone else healing. Even in our vulnerability, we become vessels of hope and light. Sometimes, when we're in pain, we think the only way to heal is by focusing entirely on ourselves. But I've discovered that when we extend a helping hand to others, it not only brings light to their lives, but also speeds up our own healing. Let's go ahead and talk about how serving others can be both a balance and a blessing on our journey. First, let's talk about why helping others matter. Helping others strengthen your own growth. You begin to notice signs of progress when you can offer encouragement that you once needed yourself. Service gives you a sense of purpose. It reminds you that even during your healing season, your life still matters. Sharing your story turns pain into purpose. It transforms scars into signposts that leads others towards hope. And there's healing power in service. Service shifts your perspectives. It doesn't erase your struggle, but it reminds you that your struggle doesn't disqualify you from making a difference. When you give encouragement, God often uses the same moment to breathe encouragement back into you. Service becomes a spiritual exchange. You pour out, but God refills. You see, there are unique benefits of serving while healing. It renews your identity. You stop seeing yourself as broken and begin to see yourself as someone God can still use. It gives meaning to your pain. Your testimony can help someone else know that they're not alone. Every time you serve, you prove to yourself that your hurt does not have the final say. But we have to acknowledge the challenge. Serving is important, but it must be balanced. God never called you to serve yourself into exhaustion. Remember, you cannot pour from an empty cup. But here's the twist. Sometimes the act of pouring is what refills the cup when it's done with the right heart. The key is discernment, serving out of overflow, not obligation. Let's go ahead and look at two biblical references. Matthew 20:28. The Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve. 2 Corinthians 12:9. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Listen, overcomers, I get it. I remember a time when I was going through my own struggles, and I felt like I didn't have much left. A friend called me in the middle of that season, needing me to pray and encourage her. Now, honestly, I didn't feel like I had anything to give, but I prayed with her anyway. And what surprised me is when we finished, I felt lighter too. You see, pouring into her reminded me of God's promises for myself. Helping her didn't erase my pain, but it gave me unexpected healing and encouragement in my own heart. It reminded me that even in our weakness, God can still use us. Now let's go ahead and take a look at 7 practical ways to help others while healing. 1. Serve from a place of balance. Before you pour into others, pause and check in with yourself. Ask yourself, Do I have enough energy and peace to give right now without depleting myself? 2. Share from the middle of the story. You don't have to wait until you're fully healed to help and encourage someone else. Be honest. I'm still walking through this, but here's what God is teaching me so far. Sometimes people need to hear from someone who's in the process, not just someone who has already arrived. 3. Let service be small and simple. Don't overlook the impact of small gestures, a smile, a kind word, or praying with someone, or sending a text. 4. Serve through your strength. Identify your God-given gift and ask, how can I use this to help someone right now? Example, if you're a listener, offer a safe space for someone to talk. If you're creative, write a note, send a card, or design something encouraging. If you're organized, help someone plan or simplify a task that's overwhelming to them. 5. Allow service to become part of your healing rhythm. View service not as just another responsibility, but as a spiritual practice woven into healing. Schedule small, consistent acts of service. Once a week prayer call, monthly volunteering, or intentional check-ins with a friend. 6. Pay attention to the exchange. Notice how service affects your heart. Did it ease your burden, bring peace, strengthen your faith? Journaling these reflections, it can help you see how God uses your giving as part of your healing. 7. Serve with support. You don't have to do it on your own. Join forces with your community, church, or family when you give. Serving others together increase the joy and help prevent burnout. Well, overcomers, we are at the end. Listen, healing is not about waiting until you're finished, because truthfully, healing is lifelong. God uses you right where you are, in the middle of your process. Healing through serving others is a beautiful cycle. By giving, you receive. Each act of kindness, it doesn't just bless someone else, it nurtures your own soul. Your scars don't disqualify you, they qualify you to be alongside someone else with empathy and grace. So this week, I challenge you, take one intentional steps towards helping someone else. It may be a message of encouragement, a simple act of kindness, or volunteering a few hours. Then reflect on how it impacts you. And notice how God weaves healing into your service. Next week, we'll continue on our journey by talking about resilience in the storm, overcoming setbacks without losing hope. Because even when you're serving and healing, life will throw challenges our way. Let's talk about how to stay rooted in faith when the storm comes. Now, if this episode encouraged you today, share it with someone who might need to hear this reminder. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Leave a review. It helps more overcomers find this community. And follow me on Instagram at If Only One Overcomes for more encouragement and prayer. And as always, remember, your life is too important because God has a plan and a purpose for your life. Until the next episode, God bless.